Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Love Hour podcast. I am your host, MrsKevOnStage, and I am joined by my husband and co-host,
the KevOnStage. I already made a great entrance. Greg, just put it in where I fell in. Just
add that.
Might as well. And I want to go skip that diddly dee. You guys, anyway.
If you're
put it right here, Greg.
Freaking awesome! I'm very, very super excited right now. Hold on, my husband's coming in.
Okay.
Wow! Wow!
No.
Wow!
No.
Cool.
Are you okay?
Totally fine. Yeah, that's wow.
If you're listening to the podcast, it is at this point that I recommend that you go to my YouTube page and you watch, because what Kevin is talking about is he came in to sit down in the chair next to me, missed the chair, and fell.
I was so excited. I was like, "Oh, Deonna, Greg!" And I came in hot, like any mini. I got I was hot, coming in hot, came in too hot, misjudged the runway, crashed, landed. But you know what I'm saying? God is faithful.
God is good. Okay, so you guys know that. Listen, we had a real good time. You guys thoroughly enjoyed the episode that we did last week with Tabitha and Chance Brown. They were a complete and utter riot. We had such a good time with them, and we're going to keep it going with some fave couples that we haven't met, but we think that we've met. And so this week we have on Deonna and Greg. Pronounce your last name for me.
Okotie.
Okotie. I'm so happy I didn't say it. They are from Married at First Sight season 9. If you have not watched, I definitely recommend that you watch, because Chad, what else are you doing? And it's actually a really great.
It was entertaining.
Yeah, it was thoroughly entertaining. It was actually the first season of the series that I've ever watched. And
we was all up in y'all lives. We was like, "Oh, it what?" And Greg making a joke and she didn't like it. Oh, what you talking?
So who we have with us again is Deonna and Greg. You guys say hello.
Hi,
everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I am so freaking excited that you guys said yes. So thank you so much for being a guest on the podcast here with us today. If you're unfamiliar with the podcast, we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of happiness from a very honest, transparent point of view. Kevin and I obviously share a lot of our lives, but in addition, we bring on experts, and then sometimes we just be having a real good time.
Oh, yeah.
And so today we're going to talk to Deonna and Greg about life after the show. Y'all ready?
So if you're not familiar with the show, I usually don't pop in.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you guys explain to them the way this show works and what y'all lives happened, how y'all met and become married in life?
Sure. So the premise of the show is arranged marriage, and pretty much you're being documented through this arranged marriage. So you have 3 experts that you put your trust in. So we have interviews and questionnaires that you sign up for and you fill out, and through that, they kind of narrow it down and figure, okay, based on this profile and this profile, can these 2 match? Are these the ideal match for one another? And so ultimately you get chosen, or they find your match or find your wife or husband. You have 8 weeks to get married, go to honeymoon, live together, and get to know each other. And after the 8 weeks, you simply say, hey, do I want to stay married or want to get a divorce? Throughout those 8 weeks, you are introduced to a lot of different things, so friends and family. We have conversations about intimacy, communication. The experts are there almost every week talking to us and just really providing us that support and consulting. So it's pretty much trust the experts. 8 weeks, you go through this process, and then at the end, you figure out if you want to stay married or get a divorce.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, he covered all the bases. Okay, you did good, Greg. You did real good. Okay, but listen, I want to know, or maybe I'm gonna just tell y'all in case y'all can't answer. First of all, the experts on the show are amazing. Legit, they are absolutely amazing. But listen, Vivian, she be on it. Okay. First of all, she is fly at the what do you call it? Decision day.
Oh, yeah.
And she had that leopard outfit on. I was like, do it, ma'am.
She snaps so loud. For her to be so small, her snap sound for those small fingers, it always freaks me out. Like, why are your snaps so loud? I might not just not that loud. Melissa's meat to finger ratio is perfect.
Listen, I'm about to ask Vivian to be on the show because I think she is amazing. Dr. Cal is amazing. We actually attended the University of Washington. So Dr. Pepper is a professor there. She actually was one of Kevin's professor while we were in school. Yeah.
Yeah.
She ain't put me on notes. She ain't tell me she had a TV career in the works. She was just out here teaching and teaching. I'm gonna hit her. Come on, man. You knew me back then.
Okay, so first of all, tell us, how long have you guys been married?
We've been married for over a year now. March 21st was our wedding.
Wait, hold, what you talking? I thought this. Wait,
that's
when
they got married on March 21st.
So y'all
March
got
21st of 2019.
Yeah. So
no, I know. So they really, that's a really quick time to shoot and edit a show. Like usually it takes way long. Like it's like 2 or 3 years ago. But it was last March. Y'all said, "Hey, I never seen you. Now you're my husband."
Yeah, and then on top of that,
yes.
On top of that, like so, we got married March 21st. Literally 8 weeks of going through the process, and then next thing you know, we was being on TV on Lifetime in June, like mid-June.
Oh, snap!
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. Like when we was doing Decision Day, we were actually like still going through the process of like buying things, or they were still being airing like the commercials and like previews of it. And I was like, wait a minute, that's me on TV, and I haven't figured out what I want to do yet.
Wait, you hadn't decided if you were going to stay married or not, and it was like coming soon, a Lifetime. Wow, what you talking indeed.
Wow, that is a quick turnaround. That's pretty intense. So one of the questions that we have, or that kind of came up, is that obviously I've said this before, that plain and simple, marriage is a risk. Like on your wedding day, you are risking and taking a chance that I'm going to give my heart to you, husband, wife, and you are going to honor it, cherish it, and take care of it. That is a risk. That is a chance. That is vulnerability. And in whether I've known you for 15 years or 15 days, like at the end of the day, that's always going to be a risk that I'm trusting you with my well-being, with my heart, with my emotional state. So one of the things that came up with, or that we were able to see through you guys' process was, the vulnerability, the issue of vulnerability. So since the show, how have you guys been able to navigate being vulnerable with one another?
Yeah, I think for me especially, because I know that was something that I had to warm up to initially. Like, you're a stranger, just married you, but you're still a stranger. So right. I'm a little crazy, but I'm not that crazy. So it was like I have to get to know you a little bit before I just open up and spill all the beans. And I think for me, Greg was really patient in waiting for me and working with me as I was trying to work through all of that. And I think now we don't have any issue with that. Our communication is something that we've really been like intentional on, we focused on, and in having conversations with each other and opening up and being vulnerable. There's what Pastor Cal calls is naked moments, where if the other person is talking, there is no judgment. I'm not waiting to have a response. I'm just allowing that person to talk. And ultimately, we have those moments. And that's what's really helped me to be able to share and open up to Greg.
Oh, I love that.
We have naked moments, but it's... Well,
I know. Same here.
I was like, yeah. Oh, no, wait. Talking. Are you talking naked with your clothes on? Why? That's what...
When Pastor Cal told me the first time, my eyes, I was like, huh. And he's like, no, not that kind.
No.
Come on, Pastor Cal.
Pastor Cal was great, actually. I really like him. Do you feel like you were able to I'm sure you have been able to take some of the nuggets of wisdom that you received from the experts into, they were really great. Do you guys stay in contact with the experts? Do they still coach you guys along the way?
They don't coach us along the way anymore, but they are still friends. Like we still talk to Pastor Cal, Dr. Viviana every now and then, Dr. Pepper, just like reaching out to like see how everything is going. But as far as them actually counseling us going forward, they don't do that. We have our own marriage counselor that we still go to once a month. So that is where we also have that balance.
Listen to me carefully. The fact that you guys, first of all, hold on. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts. Okay. I never considered the show to be arranged marriage until like I've heard other people say it. I don't know why it didn't click to me that it was arranged. Did it for you?
No, until Greg just said it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess it's technically just an arranged marriage. Like, it didn't, I mean, I got it, but it didn't click that it's because arranged marriage to me always has the connotation of another culture and family. Like your family has decided that this is what we do in our culture. I don't, Angel was talking about this before, but it didn't click that it's technically just an arranged marriage with people who didn't know you either. You know what I'm saying? But like through the questionnaire and stuff, they figured out that you would be best suited for them, for this person.
And then the other thing is that because you guys met and there were already counselors, and these experts already involved, it only makes sense to continue it because you don't have the stigma of like something has to be wrong. I don't want people to look at me crazy, think that there's an issue in our marriage because now we're seeing a counselor. It was like, well, we did it before and it worked. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like good for you guys, because I feel like how many of us would be in a better position in our marriage had we started counseling, did the premarital counseling and then kept it going throughout our marriage. Do you guys feel the like newlywed pressures?
The newlywed crushes?
Pressure.
Pressure. As far as like pressure of newlyweds, I don't think so, because I think that we were so unconventional. Like nobody had any expectations, so everybody was just like, we don't know what's about to happen. We just gonna pray for the best, see what comes of it. So since then, I mean, I think the only pressure since like day one is people are asking like, when are y'all gonna have a baby? And it's like, I mean, I just met him like the same time y'all saw him. Like,
well, but you do have baby fever.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't try
to. A year later. Like when the show was airing last year, people were like, "Have a baby," and I'm like, "I just met him 2 months ago."
Hey, I just met you. This is crazy. Here's my number. Now, have a baby. Also, have my baby. You should have did that.
Every time we post a picture on Instagram or something, when you don't have a baby, oh, you want to make some cute babies. Like always, baby. I'm like, whoa.
People ain't trying to chip in on none of the baby costs, bro. Don't at me. Babies cost all the money you have. Even if y'all made $10 million a year a person, that baby will be like, oh, I'm finna spend $2 million.
Exactly.
You absolutely want to. Don't let nobody on Instagram chip in. They ain't chipping in. You want to have a baby? How about you throw $300 to $500 a week to help cover the cost? If you ain't trying to help, watch, wash, or feed, coddle, swaddle, shut up, talk to me.
Oh goodness.
People just want to see pictures of your baby. They ain't finna wipe no doodle up the back. Who gonna wipe doodle up the back? Me? Okay then. Shut up.
But that's the only pressure that we've had. Like that's the one thing. Everything else has just been like blessings and well wishes. But everything else like smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I feel like one of the things that people are like so invested in, like, how are they doing? Like literally at the end of the show, I'm like, oh wait, so they're on season 10. I'm watching season 9. I need to know how they're doing right now. Let me go follow these people. Let me understand. You become so invested because we all love the idea of this storybook, happily ever after type of scenario. And so when you're watching the show, you fall in love with the idea of love. You know what I mean? Yeah. It allows you to be like, yes, I want to believe, love is blind and this married at first sight. And I knew right away and all these other factors don't matter. I can stand on this day, commit myself to this person and truly mean it. And so you just, it's all about falling in love with the idea of love. And so you just become so invested in like your happiness and well-being. I understand it, but child, stay out of folks' uteruses though. Like,
Thank you. Thank you.
at the end of the day, y'all are still technically newlyweds. So like live your life as new, because listen, once kids enter the scene, they don't go away.
No. I got one here, one over there. Hungry right now.
Listen, my youngest child, okay, this is what y'all have to look forward to, okay, Deonna and Greg. My youngest child woke up this morning at 6:30 this morning. He talking about he was making breakfast, and this is all the noise me and Kev heard.
Let's take a break from today's episode to tell you about HelloFresh. You're busy. I'm busy. We're all busy. And the last thing we want to think about oftentimes is, what are we going to cook for dinner? Whether you're a mom or a dad or you're human, because guess what? Humans, we have to eat. And after a long, busy day of checking things off your to-do list, thinking about what to eat, then going to the grocery store, then preparing it, cleaning up the kitchen, is just not something how I want to end my day. Okay. It's just not how I want to end my day. So HelloFresh says, give us the majority of that work and we can make cleanup easy at the very least for you. HelloFresh has quick and easy recipes and 15-minute meals. You can get tasty dinner on the table in less than it takes to get takeout or delivery. I've done two things about delivery, okay? I've done the delivery service. There is nothing more that makes me upset than a meal that is canceled after you've waited 20 minutes and then you get the cancellation. Now you just sitting there hungry and mad and then also still have to figure out what you're going to eat. Or B, a meal that they tell you is going to take 20 minutes and it actually takes 45 or an hour. Now you sitting there and prepared your hungry to be, taken care of in about 20 minutes and you got to sit there with pie on your face and wait for another 20 to 30, 45 minutes later before it arrives. Nothing makes me more upset. HelloFresh not going to do you like that. You know why? Because they're going to deliver the food to your doorstep. Pre-packaged, pre-portioned, all the ingredients right there. You take it out, you cook it, take about 30 minutes, you put it back in the bag, you throw it out, dinner is done. Tell me that ain't easy. And I'm going to wait for you to tell me, because if you do, you're lying. I'm telling you, you're lying, because that's called easy. Go to HelloFresh.com/50MBH and use code 50MBH for 50% off plus 15% off your next 2 months. Again, go to HelloFresh.com/50MBH and use code 50MBH for 50% off plus 15% off your next 2 months. And when you're picking out your recipes, make sure you try the When Steak Met potatoes with cream kale with peppercorn sauce, okay? We love meat and potatoes in my family. We love a good sauce on the top in my family. This is an easy meal. It's delicious. It tastes good. And again, all the prep work is done for you. So one more time, you're going to go to HelloFresh.com/50MBH and use code 50MBH for 50% off plus 15% off your next 2 months. Let's get back to the show.
You're like, man, what are you doing? Why are you awake right now? Why are you hungry?
At 6:30.
Why don't you eat a daily harvest?
Yes. Why do you want to eat a daily harvest? First of all, they are amazing. They are a great snack for you and your family. They are delicious. They are clean, and it is clean food delivered right to your door. I love it because I have a sweet tooth, especially during quarantine. I find myself wanting ice cream like every single night. I don't know why, but I feel like I deserve ice cream every single night. But then there's this thing such as like calories and things that aren't good for you. So as an alternative, Daily Harvest is amazing. Why? Because they never use preservatives. They never add sugar. There's no artificial ingredients, and it's able to satisfy that sweet tooth that sometimes I often have. My personal favorite smoothie is the chocolate blueberry one. It's a little bit of sweet. It's a little bit of the chocolatey savoriness. It's absolutely amazing. I drink it because it's a smoothie entirely too much. But they also have soups. They have bowls. They have flatbreads and so much more. What you need to do if you're interested in trying to get some snatchery going on during the quarantine, so when you come out, you ain't having to undo all that intake that you was doing. You're going to want to go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code LOVE. That's LOVE. Get $25 off your first box. That's promo code LOVE. That's LOVE for $25 off your first box. Again, dailyharvest.com. dailyharvest.com. Enter promo code LOVE at checkout for $25 off your first box. Okay. All right. So one of the things that I just want to know this because sometimes I just be nosy. So on the show, you guys, I think they give you guys rings, or do you guys pick out the rings?
We actually pick out our own ring. Well, I picked out the ring for him, and he picked out my ring.
Okay. Did you guys change those rings?
No, we have not changed those rings. Still wearing the originals.
So see, you know, with Corona and some other stuff happening, you know, got to save up. So, but no, I haven't upgraded her ring yet, but I definitely plan to.
I love that.
He's not going to tell me when. I'm looking forward to it, but right now I feel like this is just normal. Like I've been wearing this for the last year. I feel like anything else would just feel weird. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down.
Also, that makes you feel
make it play.
I'm still going to take it, but you know, just saying.
I mean, I love this ring, and I'm here for it. But when the upgrade comes, I will also be here for that as well.
Exactly.
I understand, girl. I understand. We had my original ring for a long time.
Man.
13 years, probably.
Oh, wow, nice.
Aww. Sentimental.
Yeah, about 13
probably
years.
About 13 years before we officially finally upgraded. I had it for a long time. Very, very long time. So I understand. And there's there is like a sentimental attachment to this is the one that I got on my wedding day though. Like I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I don't care. Don't talk about how small it is because it's mine and it means something to me. So I get that. I truly do. Okay. What is your favorite thing about being married?
My favorite thing about being married is the fact that I always have somebody here with me.
Really? You got to do all that though? You have to do all that?
Yeah. I can spend all day with. We can hang out. We can do whatever. Whenever I want to go somewhere, it's like, hey, you want to ride with me? Or if I just want to sit down and watch TV, like he's there.
Yeah.
Partner.
Yeah. I mean, I think same thing for. Why she got to touch my face, man?
You love it so much.
Just said the whole thing without touching me.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on, Greg. Hold on. Because I believe your love language is physical touch. Am I right or no?
Yeah, it is. It's like number 2 or 3, something like that.
Not a lie, Greg. You just gave her a good answer. Like, nope, it's words of affirmation and gifts. Don't give her nothing, Greg. Give her nothing.
Oh yeah, yes, it was gifts. Yeah, I love gifts. Well, no, I just say that just what she said, just having a life partner is truly the most amazing thing about being married. Share the ups and downs with someone, just growing, being business partners now. I mean, with our business and just living life. I mean, I think it's pretty amazing.
Can we ask about what business venture you got, or can you guys share what business venture you went into together?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started a t-shirt business that's pronounced Act Pastry. Is actually my middle name, which means good life. So it's a t-shirt company that we started back in November. And it was really, I won't say out the blue. As you watch the show, we're very, faith-based and very, trusting God. And so when I first told her my middle name, I told her, my middle name is Act Pastry. She's like, that's a nice name. It's real bold. You should put it on a shirt one day. And I was like, all right, whatever. And so fast forward, we mentioned it again. She oh yeah, she put it on a shirt. But she was forcing me to put it on a shirt. She was just like, oh, that'd be a cool name to put on a shirt. And then one morning she woke up, she's like, man, I had a dream about a t-shirt company and your name was, your name Act Pastry. I was like, I got it. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm going to do it. I hear you. And so after the third time, I was like, all right, let's do this. And then just really create something to share with, share with the world, share with our fans. So it's a t-shirt company that encourages people to live boldly. So it's not just faith-based, but heritage collection, lifestyle. So there's a bunch of different things that we have as far as just to share who we are and represent us.
How has working together been?
Working together has been very different. So, you know,
the team, girl, because listen,
it's very different. Because so for me, you know, I leave the house, I go to work. Well, I mean, still in quarantine, I leave the room and I go to the but working together is seeing a whole different side of Greg and learning like how he thinks, how he operates, and then he's also seeing a different side of me. Like when I go into work mode, like I'm focused. I'm in work mode, like we're not talking about anything else. And I think for us finding that balance of, okay, we're going to talk about work, but now we're having dinner and we're not talking about work, like having those boundaries so that we can separate the two, or if we, you know, have a disagreement that's work related, not bringing that into just regular conversation. So we've learned a lot about each other and our different work ethics, and, you know, our thought processes are very different, but they all like, they balance each other out, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, only thing I want to add is that, so the balancing each other out, like I'm an entrepreneur, so I have another business, and it's just more so like I have that kind of mindset where it's like, I guess you call it visionary. Like as an entrepreneur, you kind of visionary, kind of see like, oh, let's do this, or a dreamer in some ways. Whereas, you know, she doesn't mind a 9 to 5 or like being task driven. And so that kind of balances us, where I can think of a vision or kind of dream towards what we can do for the business. And she's like, okay, that's nice, but now what can we do? Like, what are the steps in order to, you know, accomplish that? So it's been pretty cool to have that balance.
Listen, we just had, like I said, mentioned earlier, Tabitha and Chance Brown on the podcast last week, and we talked about the idea of the dreamer, and I got to think of a name for the other person in the relationship, the stable person, okay? And there was no shade, but also all the shade. But in their relationship, Tabitha is the dreamer. In our relationship, Kevin is the dreamer. And obviously, from what you just said, it sounds like Greg is the dreamer as well. And one of our Patreon members, his name is
Reggie Lee.
Yes. And tell him what he said, Kev.
Reggie Lee said one of the people is the kite and the other person is the string. And without the string, the kite would just fly off and crash. Without the kite, the string wouldn't go anywhere. So you both need each other to truly fly. Thank you, Reggie Lee.
I thought that was so right. I think that is so good, and it puts a I don't know. It allows you to see that each person has value. I know a lot of times for Kevin and I, we've been married for, it'll be 16 years.
In a 1 month exactly from today.
Early congratulations.
Yeah, early congrats.
Yes, we've been together since we were 16 years old. We will be, well, he is 37, child. I'm not yet. And so we've been together for a long, long time. And part of our process, even to being where we are right now, is that I was okay having a 9 to 5. I was okay going to work and collecting a paycheck and a 401k and having benefits. Like, these are things that are important. Okay. So don't at me. These are things that we need. And he's like, right. Why would I clock into work when I can make all this money over here? Like, we need to be about what's over here, not what's over there. And a lot of times we've had discussions, and even Tabitha and Chance were talking about, they've had discussions or where the stable person, the string, feels like the dream killer, when all you're trying to do is like, you know, let's root this dream in something to make it a reality, so we're not in the poorhouse chasing a dream. You know what I mean?
Not the poorhouse.
Yeah. Listen, Kevin literally told me when we were, again, early on, and he was trying to do plays, he was trying to be like Tyler Perry at the time. And he, you know, of course, he's studying Tyler Perry, his testimony, that kind of thing. And this joker gonna tell me, well, you know, Tyler Perry was homeless before he made it.
So you think we're gonna be homeless?
Exactly, Deonna. Exactly. Listen, Star.
I hear you, Kev. I'm with you. I'm with you.
That's what
Sometimes you have to go down, don't get up. I mean, sometimes you have to fall in order to rise. I get it. You gotta fall to rise. I get it.
Listen, that is every bit of Tyler Perry's testimony, and God is faithful. Look what he did for him. But that is not my testimony, sir. No, it's not. It's just not my testimony. I'm sorry. I'm just not about this life. Like, I'm just not here for it. So let's figure out a way where you can make your dream happen, but also our bills can be paid, our kids can be fed, and we can still have clothes on our back. Like, let's figure that part out before we just assume we got to live out of our car. Like, let's figure it out. Okay, so did you guys have you guys experienced that? Have you ever felt like the kite or the dream killer or the fun snatcher?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for me, that's usually the role that I play. But I feel myself always saying, like, please understand where I'm coming from. Like, let's just make sure, we have, the safety net there.
Yes.
Let's think things through. Okay, like, help me get there. So I think for me, like, always, like, vocalizing that I'm not trying to shut you down. It's just more of, I just really want to make sure that we are in a stable place before we jump into the next thing.
And I'd be like, oh, come on, here we go again. Here we go. Don't even believe in me. Here we go again.
You don't believe in me.
It's not what I said.
You know what? Scratch this. I'm going to need to do this.
I think that honestly, I know you guys are, Christians as well, and so are we. I really think, number one, that opposites attract, because everywhere, every couple I've met thus far, this dynamic exists. The dynamic of a dreamer and, the anchor exists. And so I think opposites really attract. But I also think that that's something God puts us together, because Kevin would literally be broke.
Or the experts put together.
Okay. But Kevin would literally be bankrupt. And I mean that quite literally. Like, he would have filed for bankruptcy in pursuit of his dream. Like, just all my chips. If I believe in me, I gotta put all my chips in. Otherwise, what am I saying?
That's how I play poker. Every hand, all in. Every hand, all in. I want to.
And it's like, okay, but do we have to put all the chips in? Yes, because if I put all my chips in, I have a chance of making $1 million.
Every activity, every show is going to sell out. Every conference, every seat will be sold. Every shirt will be sold. Every video will be watched 1 million times. Everything will work out perfectly. Yeah.
And I'm always okay, but can we just entertain what if?
What if is the devil, and we don't give no power? Oh,
there you go, Ken. There you go.
Don't need no advocates.
All right, I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys about Audible. I do have a book club. There are close to 6,000 boos in my book club.
Boo.
Shout out to the Boo Hive. I'm so happy. And it's a community of women that is absolutely amazing. And what we do is I pick a book every single month for us to audio listen to. Right now, we are listening to Little Fires Everywhere. I know you guys have heard about the show. It is amazing. The talk of the town. Everyone's talking about it. If you love the show, child, you will love the book. Okay, there is all the tea. They go in a little bit more deeperness. I said deeperness. Y'all can have, because I deserve all the ads on that one. Okay, but it is amazing. I love Audible. It allows me to listen while I'm cleaning. It allows me to listen while I'm cooking, while I'm doing the kitchen, while I'm doing my morning routine. Even this morning, I'm doing my hair, I'm doing my makeup, and I turn on Audible and I'm able to listen to whatever it is that I'm listening to. So I'm not glued to sitting down in a chair, picking up a physical copy of a book and turning pages. While there is a time and place for that, I'm a woman on the go. I am busy. I have things to do. I have kids. I'm always on the go, and I don't always have an opportunity to just sit down. And so Audible allows me the opportunity to listen and get my reading in, my reading, audio listening in without actually having to sit down. Audible has launched stories.audible.com, where anyone anywhere can stream hundreds of their titles completely free. no strings attached, and they're doing this for as long as quarantine lasts.
Woo!
Shout out to Audible for, taking care of us during this time. You can also get a good night's sleep with audible.com/sleep. Enjoy soothing Audible experiences that let you meditate with Diddy, drift off with Nick Jonas, or bathe in a sound with Sarah Auster and more. And I just want to go back. I did say Diddy. Okay. So you can meditate with Diddy. Okay. That's P. Diddy. That's Puff Daddy. Just so we're all on the same page. Audible.com/love hour.
Love hour.
Or text Love Hour to 500-500. Visit audible.com/Love Hour.
Love hour.
Or text Love Hour to 500-500.
Flowers are blooming, the grass is growing, and it's time to mow your lawn. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped, you can trim the hedges below the belt safely and efficiently. I'm talking about ball trimmers. You hear me? Manscaped. Shave your stinking balls so they can look presentable. Manscaped is here to make sure your balls are smooth and smelling nice. After all, it's time for some spring cleaning. Manscaped is the only men's brand dedicated to the below-the-waist grooming. I know you're looking at me crazy, Greg, but sometimes you got to shave the little Greg. Greg Jr. and Greg the Third, they both need to be shaved and smelling nice, okay? They have forever changed the grooming game with the Perfect Package 3.0. Precision engineered tools for your family jewels. The Perfect Package 3.0 kits comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0, waterproof cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your manscaping routine. I shaved my balls yesterday, and they thanked me at night. Melissa said, "Hey, are your balls having a taper fade?" I said, "Oh, yeah. I've been practicing. I could blend to the top. I do designs. And most of all, they're clean, they're trimmed, and they smell amazing." The third generation trimmer features cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nick-free thanks to Manscaped Advanced Skin-Safe Technology. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LOVEHOUR at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code LOVEHOUR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off. Free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code LOVEHOUR. It's spring cleaning, baby, and your balls will thank you.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
We purposely don't warn our guests about when we have Manscaped ads because we want to see your face when we go straight to the balls section. This question wasn't on here. Here's what my concern is. My thing, so you okay, I'm gonna get arranged marriage. You are marrying a new person. Now you've got to find some compatibility below the belt, and you are unsure of even who they are. How did you guys even do that? And then you got camera crews lurking around asking questions.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good question.
So
you want to take that one?
I'm gonna take that one because that was my choice to move slow, right? I wanted to make sure that we had a friendship and I got to know who he was before we brought anything physical into the mix. In the past, I feel like moving too fast and getting intimate with somebody has just messed things up. And I didn't want to do that in my marriage because I was like, hey, we're together forever. So I really need to make sure I know who this person is. And had that conversation with Greg, and ultimately it happened genuinely and organically. It wasn't anything that we had to force on each other. It was none of that. It was just more of, from day one, I was just like, hey, I want to take things slow. I want to get to know you. And then from there, if things progress, then they do. But I think having that connection in the beginning with the friendship and being attracted to him and having the sense of humor, that is everything that made
humor gets you so much. Humor is the best tool in a marriage. It can break the tension. It can break some awkward moments. I mean, it's not 100% foolproof, but it does help. You know what I'm saying? In almost every facet. Were you gonna say something, Greg?
Yeah, so that's the woman's perspective. From a guy's perspective, I'm like, oh look, when we gonna? I'm sorry, that was. Can't say that. Can't. No?
I'm watching this.
You'll edit it out.
Trying to get
so, you know what I'm saying? So like, what is going to happen? So like, but also, I mean, what she said, I did want to take it slower than normal, I guess you could say, but because I wanted to make this work, right? And I want to just jump in and just have sex. And so yeah, we did take it slow. She was saying she want to wait, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But we'll see what happens. So I guess as far as perspective and trying to see, well, what if? I mean, I don't know. You just have to trust, trust God and trust everything. Make sure that we're compatible in that sense. In regards to the cameras, they wasn't with us 100%, right? So at nighttime, they wasn't like sleeping on a cot beside us. You know what I'm saying? So those times where we had times to talk, and then when that time came to be intimate, we was. And so they didn't know about it until like
I think it was like
2 or 3 weeks
afterwards.
Yeah, we didn't tell them.
We were like,
people.
No, we didn't tell them right away.
I said, this is personal, and I need to make sure. And I think the other thing for me was, if they ask, then I will answer the question. If you don't ask, I'm not saying. And I guess they had gotten so used to asking me so many times, and I was like, no. They had just stopped for a little bit. And when they stopped, that's when I did. And
yeah, our producer was like, she's like, something about like, well, have you seen like Deonna and like coming out the shower or something like that? Like, have you seen her naked? I was like, yeah. And she's like, have you seen her naked? Like, and then so I was like, yeah, we had sex on my birthday. She's like, what? And everything stopped. She was like, yeah, sex on your birthday? That was 2 weeks ago. Like, she was going crazy. I was like, oh, sorry.
Didn't say anything.
You know what's interesting is that your life has, your relationship has been so public. How do you reclaim the privacy now that the cameras have stopped and, you're living a normal life? How do you reclaim, that sense of privacy?
Good question. So we're still private people. I mean, we put stuff on Facebook, like pictures and stuff, but there's not everything that we show. We're not always on IG Live, like showing everything that we do. And then not everything is being vocalized through, our social platform. So we still have our privacy for the most part. I mean, obviously when we're in public, everybody notices us. But we definitely just work on being ourselves and continue not letting all of this, get in our heads or play a part in our relationship. So we just continue to be ourselves, work on ourselves, work on each other to be better for one another.
Yeah, everything he said.
Yeah, though it's really important. Like I said, we have been together for so long, but having a platform and sharing so much of yourself with the public can be taxing. Like, it really can be taxing. And not just that, you have to be really mindful to not become a character of yourself and not to like perform because you have an audience, not to perform because there's cameras. And so it's really important to have those private moments where you feel like I can be my full authentic self. And so it is really important not to put everything online. We share quite a bit, but there's some parts of my life that I try to fiercely protect just for myself, just for us, that it ain't really nobody else's business. And so it's really important that for us, I'm able to be, my authentic self that isn't public. And I don't feel like I'm doing this and now I got to take a picture. I feel like I'm doing this and let me show the world what's going on. It's okay to say, this was sweet, this was nice, and I don't have to share, and it doesn't make it not have happened.
Right. I agree.
100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the most difficult part of doing this for a living is finding that balance between being your authentic self and putting your life out for public consumption, because people will pick at your life for entertainment value.
Right.
And then you have to go live that actual life. You know what I'm saying? So trust. It's probably the most difficult thing ever, especially when you're vlogging and stuff, and you got kids, and this is your actual life. It's not like y'all weren't doing a reality show like, oh, let's do the real world. We're like, no, we married for real, legally binding, we had to decide if we're going to do this. This isn't like when the cameras are off and the show is over, y'all still living that actual life. And the public has moved on to, you know, the next season or the next show or whatever they had to do. But you are, you know, in social media, like living through those comments and stuff. And it's like, man, you know, where do I draw the line? One other thing I wanted to know, were y'all worried that the other person was going to be ugly?
Yes. 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 Yes.
That was Greg's number one thing.
Yes.
He was like, oh my God, I cannot look bad. I honestly didn't think anything about it. Like, I was just like, Jesus, you know, this is going to be him. If I made it all the way through this process, this is the one.
No.
And this is going to be great. The whole time, like, I was hyped. All my friends, family, coworkers, everybody thought I was crazy because of the fact that I was so hyped. I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to find my husband. And they were like, what if he smells? Like, what you mean? Like, I said, I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. Like, but I'm not going to let that mess me up. Like, this is it. But Greg, he was like, I was nervous because I didn't know what you was going to look like.
I was thinking about everything. I'm like, how's she going to look? Like, her family, how family going to be? Like, I mean, just everything. Like, her personality, everything.
That's funny because I can imagine you like my thing is when I was looking down the aisle, like I know Melissa and her family, and I know what I'm getting into. We've been together for 4 years, and I was still nervous. You guys are getting not only a wife and husband, you're getting in-laws, you're getting, you know, parents-in-law, brothers-in-law. Like, people underestimate how if your family relationship is not good, it's gonna be a problem in the marriage. If you guys cannot find a way to get along, it is tough. Like, I thank God Melissa and I have a great relationship, but her sisters are like my sisters. My brother is like her brother. You know what I'm saying? Her mom would take me in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that makes life a lot easier because if you don't have that, and especially if y'all don't get along with the other family, but the person is close with their family, you gonna have problems. So was that a weird transition for you guys? Like when you went through the first like holiday of Thanksgiving or Christmas, how did y'all even do that part?
Well, even before that, like at the wedding, both our families and friends meshed. Like it was, I mean, I could not. So we had to. So we got married at the ceremony, and then we had to take a bunch of pictures, right? Like normal wedding stuff. And so they put everybody in the reception room, and they was all hanging out, drinking, all that good stuff. So when it was time for us to finally get to the reception, they were all like not drunk, but they were all having a good time with one another, and just
all
like
mixing and mingling. Like everybody got along really well, and I think that it was really nice that all of our families were like mixed at all of the tables. So it wasn't just one table of all my family. It was both of our families sitting at one table and having conversations and getting to know one another. And ultimately, like all of his friends were open and welcoming to me and to my family and vice versa. And ultimately, like, it was just really weird how everybody clicked. And that's what helped make me feel more at ease on the wedding night. Like 100%. I was like, all of your friends, like, you gotta be good people.
And then to put it in perspective, the next day, the next day we called our family up or whatever, just like, you know, chatting with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we about to go to Cracker Barrel." I'm sorry, what? So they
parents and his mom and sister. I was like,
went to Cracker Barrel without us.
Where's my invite? Like, y'all weren't even gonna tell us?
Like, we hungry? Like, and so for them to be able to like hang out and have a good time the day after, and to really just exchange numbers and just, you know, call each other in-laws and just, you know, just call each other family. I mean, that was amazing. Yeah. So in regards to fast forward to like the holidays, I mean, it was
everybody
beautiful.
Was here.
Yeah.
Wow. Everybody was here.
Both your families live in the same city.
No. So her family lives an hour and a half away. My family lives in Maryland and New York at the time, and so
everybody traveled in for the holidays. Everybody flew in, drove in, and they all stayed under one roof with us.
Yeah.
All right. So listen, y'all, we're all on quarantine. We're trying to use this time to come out a little bit better than we went into quarantine. So what that means is educating ourselves and, you know, learning us something. myself personally, I have been using Skillshare. I've shared them before. Why have I been using Skillshare? Because they have a plethora and a variety of tutorial and classes that you can take to sharpen any skill that you're looking to sharpen. I have used them when I was doing my interior design. I've used them for self-esteem stuff. Kevin has used them for graphic design, like literally from this to that to over there. They have a class on everything. It is freaking phenomenal. I found inspiration in some of their classes. It's actually really, really good. What is Skillshare, in case you're unfamiliar? It is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passion, and get lost in creativity. I've already described some of the classes that we've taken that we're interested in that I've actually found to be really, really beneficial. Explore classes that may help you express what you're feeling through creative self-discovery. Spontaneous acts of creativity may break up the routine of a day spent indoors. Explore workshops, classes, and more. And their teachers are phenomenal. They're not boring. I promise y'all. I watched one guy and he had like 4 different classes. And I was like, low-key, I really like you. You're actually really, really good. Like, this is really good. Explore your creativity and get 2 free months of premium membership at Skillshare.com/lovehour. That's 2 whole months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. Get started and join today by heading to Skillshare.com/lovehour. That's 2 free months of unlimited access to thousands of classes at Skillshare.com/lovehour. Love. All right, I think we're gonna maybe ask 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll wrap it up. This has been fun. I hope you guys are having a really good time as well. All right, this is the real question. After the cameras are gone, Dr. Cal packs his bag and leaves. Dr. Pepper gives you a kiss and she leaves. Dr. Viviana with her fly self gives you a kiss and a hug and she leaves. And now y'all are looking at each other like, cool. So we really did this, cool. Huh?
Oh, I know that thought had to happen. We really did this probably while you were still filming the show. Like, bro, am I tripping or not? Or where? Or am I?
That's still to this day.
Yeah.
We still have that today.
Yeah.
We still wake up and like, I have a husband. You have a wife.
Yeah. Just random. We'll be eating or something. I just stop and like, I'm really married to you. Like, this is really,
a complete stranger that you did not know last year. Like, it's still baffling. I don't think that's something that we'll ever truly get over. Like the fact that it was so unconventional and so different. Like, I don't think that we'll ever get over you married a complete stranger.
Like, that's crazy.
Yes.
Like, let me ask y'all a question. I know this wasn't listing, and I know I just interrupted, and I realize why I do that, because I do that in real life. I interrupt people when they're talking regularly. So, of course, I do when I'm on TV or podcast.
It's fine. Yeah.
What made you say, you know what? I'm going to even be on this show. Like, I'm willing to take a risk like that. What made you do that?
I think for me, number one, I was ready to be in a relationship, and I had not been doing it the best in the past. And I was just like, if they're coming here and you got 3 people that have done this in the past, and this is what they do, why not ask for help? Like, I would be crazy not to ask for help. If I want it and I haven't been doing it right, well, they know what they're doing, so get the help. So for me, signing up to get married at first sight, it was something that I always wanted, and knowing that I was going to have the assistance of the experts going through it, I was like, there's what's going to happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? Either I find a husband and it doesn't work out, or they don't find me a husband. Like, either way, I'm going to learn something from it and I'm going to become a better person. So my thing throughout the entire thing is like, but did you die? You're not going to die. You're going to be okay. So why not? Like,
you could die. You could die from it.
You know, it's crazy. Some people get married to the person they thought they were marrying, and they find out they don't even know this person at all. So I think there's no right answer, right? There's just, like in marriage, there's just what works for you. Like, and that's in all facets of marriage. Like, if me and Melissa don't work out, all the stuff that she learned about me will not be valuable to the next person she marries, right? All of it is to this person. I wanted to ask another question about along the same lines. Is there anything that you guys think is easier because of how you got married that might be harder for other people in tradition?
Yeah, I think that and so sort of what you just kind of mentioned to allude to, Kev, is like a lot of people get married because of the potential of this person, right? Like, oh, this person has a potential to be this or potential to be that. Whereas I think in this case that wasn't it, right? It was like, this is the person that they honestly put down in the profile, and that's why I met this person with you, right? It's not, oh, this person has the potential to be what your wife could be, or with your ideal spouse. And so I think that was something that was easier to kind of get rid of. It was like, well, why did we get matched? And I think that was the forefront of the 8 weeks. It's like, why did they match us together, right? And they wouldn't tell us. During those, every time we met with them, they never told us, why they matched us. So we had to figure it out on our own. I mean, some things were quickly noticeable, like the way we carry ourselves, our communication, like it was something. Our faith, that was huge for us, and how we led our lives through faith and just trusting God. And so that definitely was some things that we noticed, and it made it easier just to kind of walk through the process.
Yeah, I would definitely say it also made it easier because it's not like you get in your own way. So I feel like for a lot of people out there, it's like, well, I like this person and I got to make it work. Or I like the idea of this person, or, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't sabotage yourself, but getting married at first sight, as long as you are honest the entire time that you were going through that process, and hopefully the other person was honest too, like there's nothing that you have to really worry about, because they ask you everything underneath the sun around like, what is it that you want in your potential mate? Like they talk about religion, finances, physical attraction, all of that. So it takes some of that out where you can't get in your own head. They match based off of what you asked for. So as long as you were honest and they were honest, if they find you a match, then it's a pretty good like.
And I think what people have to understand about the show too, if you haven't seen it, they don't match everybody. Like some people come in, and there's a lot of pool of people who sign up, and they're like, oh, some people put their information in. They're like, there's nobody here that's a good fit for you. So it's not like they just say, oh, Deonna and Greg, black. Mary, you know what I mean? It was like way more than that. Way more than that. So, and because Melissa was watching it before me, and then I had to sit down, and she was catching me up on it. But I mean, shoot, the doggone show was so doggone interesting. I was like, this is great. Y'all kind of the couples, I felt like me and Melissa we are betting on who's going to stay in decision day. And we were like, oh, Deonna and Greg, oh, man, they're going to be cool. Like, I was like, you think they want to come to play Taboo at our house? Watching the show, like y'all, and I think like one thing I liked, Deonna, you were very open. Like, hey, I had a serious relationship before, and things haven't been working. Like, I think what you said, maybe without saying it, is you had to own some of your problems with your own self, and you were willing to be open to the help. And here's the other thing, guys: a lot of us are in arranged marriages. It's just not experts picking it. It's our family choosing who we think will be good for whatever reason, and they be picking for their own motives, right? And then you trust that person, and they're not necessarily saying, I'm gonna pick the person I think is best for you. It's who I want you to be with, right? And we've seen our friends in arranged marriages that they aren't really aware is arranged marriage, and they put so much weight on their family, and their family does that, and then they're actually in a marriage with the person who's not a good fit for them. But now they're trying to fight through it because their family likes them, and that creates a whole new set of issues. So I think it's really interesting, and I'm glad you guys are still happily married.
I know, that was nice, Kev. One last question.
What is your hair care routine? No,
everybody's been asking that question. It's baby and hair care. That's all they be asking on Instagram. Baby and hair care.
Listen,
you're not gonna have a baby, then walk me through the process. I want those curls on my head now.
You may as well create a YouTube channel and show the folks what you're using. Okay, you may as well. I think that beautiful hair. Yeah,
very pretty hair. And it was during the show. I was like, oh, she's switching it up today. Yeah. Okay, she done put it up today. Oh, this is a little protective updo. Okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what should happen.
Yeah, even I was fascinated by her hair when I first, because like she had it in the if you see the wedding, like she had it in the ponytail. And so I'm thinking, oh well, you know, I don't know.
He thought it was a piece. He thought it was a clip-on.
I thought it was a clip-on or something.
I had a lot of information he was trying to decipher in that quick amount. It was like, okay, cool, I got it. Okay, now ponytail. Oh no, it's real, natural pony. Oh, what you talking?
So on the wedding night, like they had to film us go into the little honeymoon suite or whatever, and so we're like, oh well, you know, you guys get changed and then get into bed and continue to talk, so the camera's still rolling. So she was normal. She went to the bath. She quickly changed her to pajamas, and she was taking all her makeup off. So I was at the door, like looking like
he was being a creep because I don't like why are you staring?
Let me see how you gonna look without the makeup. All right, cool. And then let me see if they're gonna take the hair off. Oh no, the hair's still on. Oh shit. Hey, wait a minute, that's her hair? I was like, oh shit, that thing long.
Yo, Melissa had, when we got married, she had the longest weave ponytail. I mean, this thing was like, so the funny part is Melissa did not wear that much weave when we dated. For her wedding, she was like, all the weave available. I want the biggest ponytail known to man.
It was terrible.
It was so long. It was heavy for her. She's like, man, this pony it was so funny. I'm like, girl, you think you can put more? I want a 26-inch ponytail.
That was terrible. I hate that. I don't like a lot of hair now. I don't even know why I did that. It's just the wrong decision. To each his own, but it was the wrong decision for me. Okay. Okay. Last question. What advice do you have for other newlyweds out there to be intentional about learning about one another?
What advice will we give?
Or what have you guys done to be intentional about learning about one another?
We're still learning about each other even to this day. So it's.
I don't think it'll ever stop.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I think you guys are still learning too, right? Like,
absolutely,
bruh. Let me tell you, year 15 and 16, I'm probably learning more about Melissa now and about myself and how to adjust myself. It's work, like not bad. It's just like you really have to be committed to learn. I think the biggest mistake anyone can make is assuming they got it. Like, I feel like it's lazy and it's dangerous to assume, oh, I know them. Like, obviously, even as simple as taste buds. When we first got married, I didn't like salmon at all. Didn't like spicy food. Didn't like avocados. Now I do like all those things. So if my taste buds can change, of course my personality can change. And, we moved and we went to a new industry and job changes. Like each one of those changes you. Like before we had kids, she was one person. When we had one kid, I was one person. We have two kids or one person. Two kids in school. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot. It's a lot. Career changes was humongous. Yeah. Like going from her working 9 to 5 in aerospace to quitting and us working together, bro, that was probably as much of a change as having children.
Wow.
It was humongous. How to communicate, it's a lot. And I just think that's a dangerous area to be like, oh, I know them, and I don't need to do any more work. And everything in life, you should always be learning and changing and adjusting and stuff. But especially in marriage, you want to be loving the current version of your spouse, not the one from yesterday or a year ago, 5 years ago, the current version, how they feel about things today.
Mm-hmm.
That's really great advice. But yeah, I would definitely.
That's what I'll say. I'm done. That's it.
Like that's hit the nail on the head. Like our communication, like just making sure that we're trying new things together, so that you can learn. Like, okay, well, we just experienced all 4 seasons together. Like he learned that I'm a person in the summer versus the winter.
Totally different. She was umbrella. She stays out for at least 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes in the sun. Like. She has an attitude, especially when she get hungry quicker during the summertime. I go on cab. Like it's just like, okay. Sorry. I had a vent. I'm sorry.
That is so funny, but that's true. Like you really realize, who your spouse is as life happens. And seasons are a thing that may affect your mood. So that's funny, but like low key, it's true though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say continuing to try new things, learn new things about each other, just like not assuming and just like asking questions, having open, honest communication at all times of just like, I had an issue with X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. Well, learn something new. Won't do that again. Or, let's just try to make sure that we, don't have that happen again. But
yeah, I think effective communication, because you can, like, the example she mentions, like, oh, I don't like this anymore. I don't like this. And you don't come back and say, well, you used to like this, or you used to do this, and why don't you do that? Right? Be able to honor her and honor what she's saying and respect it, and then be able to, like, okay, well, this is how she feels. Let's move forward this way, instead of combating and say, well, why you changed? Like, you used to like this, so why change now? So I think just be able to effectively communicate those naked moments, both naked moments, honestly, but be able to have that naked moment, just be able to listen and understand your spouse, I think is truly important.
Speaking of naked moments, even in the bedroom, stuff that you used to like, you might not like no more. And you, the other person, you can't be like, man, but we used to do this. Okay, but I don't like it now. Okay, like, and you gotta be like, it's unfair to keep being like, but you used to. But you're like, bro, okay, well, I don't now. And I told you I don't, and I want to try something new, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfair, especially in the bedroom, to be like that. And I think, it's like, I it's funny because Melissa, when she cooks, she be asking me what I want for dinner, and I will say boiled chicken and rice every time, right? It's the most simple meal, and Melissa is like, that is the most boring thing ever.
I'll never make it again.
You will. Right? So she doesn't make it nearly as much as I would like, but if I one day am like, I don't like that no more, and you can't be mad at someone for being honest about their feelings to you, right? You can't expect your spouse to stay the same. And that's a big mistake I made. Like, or even like one time you do something in the bedroom and you're like, okay, I won't do that every time now. And like, no, man, some things are moments in time. They were great that time. And trying to force that is bad as well. So I think that's the advice. As we even age, I feel like that advice has been more paramount to give out to people, because it's been the most things. Like, you got to kind of be able to sway, you know what I mean, as your spouse changes and as you change, you know what I'm saying, and making sure you're big. Because so what I feel like, and I'm sorry, I've been rambling.
No, it's good stuff.
A lot of people get divorced for those two reasons. Melissa is telling me about her new self and what she likes and dislikes, and I'm not taking that information on. Or I'm changing about my current self, and I'm not giving her that information so that she can make adjustments. That's really what it is. It's that give and take, that learning, adjusting, trying new things, knowing, okay, that doesn't work, or this made her upset. Or when I said that, I know she kind of winced a little bit. Let me ask her, did I say something wrong? How does that make you feel? Like, it's that kind of like attention to detail and willingness to adjust that is going to make you be able to be married for 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 years. Because, then you wake up one day and be like, I don't even recognize this person. It's because you haven't recognized the small changes as they've been happening.
That's gold right there. That is gold.
And also, what stuff? Are you open to it or not? You got to be aware. I always like to flip the script, just in case you think that I'm really interracial. I'll go right to butt stuff.
This is why none of my Love Hour videos are able. Like, I make no monies. YouTube is like, no, your husband's a fool, so no.
Run that cheek.
Okay, so to close out, can you tell us about your new show? What's going on, child? Tell us all the inside scoop.
Yes. So we are on Married at First Sight's Couples Cam. So that comes on Lifetime Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is us filming ourselves in the house during quarantine. So all of the fun stuff, all of the boring stuff, all of like the real moments that everybody else is having and experiencing in their homes while in isolation. We are self-recording and self-documenting ourselves and sharing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, we got cameras and we're walking around and I'm like, hey, so what are you doing today? Like,
It's
all day long.
Vlog style?
Yeah, pretty much.
Vlog style. So we're sharing that with the world. So everybody's stuck in the house. So we figured why not bring everybody in our house through the TV.
Are y'all putting us on? Or when if we finna be on? I didn't see y'all hold no camera. I didn't see y'all hold nothing.
No, we didn't put y'all on there because we didn't get y'all to sign the releases.
Yeah,
yeah, my bad.
It's a whole thing.
Y'all know. Whole production.
Sign the release. I understand.
Well, listen, this has been absolutely amazing. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us today on today's episode of the Love Hour podcast. Like I said, we were like instant fans as soon as the episode came on. I was like, they're sensible. They love Jesus. I'm rooting for y'all. Y'all got my vote. So I'm super excited that a year later, you guys are still together, kicking it and hanging on strong for Black love, representing for the Black love out there. So for the people that are interested in following you on your personal social medias, can you give out where they're able to follow you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, Deonna.McNeil.
Instagram as well. So Greg Okotie.
Yes.
Yeah, is that mine? Yeah. So at Greg Okotie. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, and if you're interested in our clothing line, it's on our personal pages, but it's also at akpesiri.co. So akpesiri.co.
Love that. I was going to
Can you spell that one more time?
akpesiri.co.
And that's his Instagram handle. You can also find akpesiri.com as well.
That didn't work?
I put .co.
.co. There
Found it.
Got it. Can you send it to...
Look at your hair, okay? Look at you with your little shirt off, your little hair down and all that nice things.
Can you send it to Kat as well?
Yeah.
Can you send the link to Kat? Kat will send it to you. The last thing I was going to say, because I noticed a real married moment right here. I often ask Kev, how old am I? Or he'll ask me, like, how old am I again? And so the moment you're like, what's my Instagram handle? That's called marriage.
Okay.
The epitome of marriage in a nutshell. When I ask you about something I should know about me. When's my mama's birthday? When's my parents' anniversary? What's my Instagram handle? How old am I? Those are married questions. When half your brain is like, you know what? I don't need to remember that because you're available and I can use your brain to remember that. That's marriage. Okay. So thank you guys again. I certainly hope that we're able to do this. Once again, your castmate, I don't know if that's what you guys call them, but Iris will be on the podcast next week. We all remember what went down with her. My heart was broken for her. But as many of you guys listen, it's a low-key little commercial for next week. I was actually on my wedding day as well, child. Yes, you
what you talking? What you said?
I don't know how you didn't know, child. It was quite apparent. So I identified with Iris actually quite a bit. And so I want to have a conversation with her, just show a different light and let her know, she ain't alone, child. I was out here being the same. Mm-hmm. And so
she saw me naked and she was like, that's it? Yes, I'm cold. Okay. I can do other things. Remember when I made you laugh?
See her face? What's his face like?
I have a whole entire food for a husband.
I'm a grower, not a shower, but you should have grown. I'm still growing as a man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, Deonna. I'm sorry. Thank you guys again for joining us today. Please go flood their Instagram and let them know that you saw them on the Love Hour podcast. Until next week when we do it again. Bye.
Peace, y'all. Bye.